Hello everyone and welcome to the World of Warcraft public testing realms, where today I will be messing around with some of the changes to the Skyriding / dragon riding system. The first and most obvious change you will see when you mount up is that you do not have a Vigor bar. Instead, your Surge Forward and your Skyward Ascent will each have 6 charges. Vigor, well, these charges will work basically the same way that Vigor did before, which is once you've used one, it will recharge at a specific rate, which is based on the speed that you're traveling. So if I'm going to, let's spend a few, okay, and you can see your recharge. If I'm not going fast at all, that will recharge very slow. It's something like 12 seconds, I think. But if you get going fast, that recharge rate doubles to about 5, 6 seconds. Maybe it's quicker than that. Let's see. 1003, 1004, 1005, 1000. Yeah, it's about 6 seconds at the most. But at the least, it's still fairly quick. It's supposed to be a bit more streamlined. It can't drop, the recharge rate can't drop to 0 anymore, which is handy. Another thing that I need to show you is the Whirling Surge, which now does not spend any of these charges, but instead has its own separate cooldown. The second wind has a fairly long cooldown, so that hasn't changed. And of course there's the aerial halt, which will recover a Vigor charge if that's what you need to do. This, however, is new, this dismount button. It will not work if you are mounted, if you're in the air. It won't work if you're in the air. But once you're on the ground, you can press that to dismount. I personally usually have my own dismount macro that also stealths me, so I won't be using that, but it's nice to have. Okay, so the other thing that you need to know, in here you have your skills and unlocks page. You also have your switch flight style button, which can be dragged anywhere on your bars if you need to. But this is in your mounts pane, and it has been reduced by quite a lot. This does not have all your abilities here. I'll show you where to find them in a minute. But the only things you can actually change here are the ride along button, and whether you want the Whirling Surge from Dragonflight or the Lightning Rush from the War Within. Now this will not change immediately on your bar. You have to dismount and then summon your mount again before it will display. Now regarding the Lightning Rush, I had a question from Drynox on Discord, wondering if there were any changes to it, so let's take a look. Now if you'll pay attention over here, every time I fly next to something, I'm gaining a charge of this static charge. Once I get to 10, I can spend that for my Lightning Rush, which will not let you turn at all. So it's still kind of useless. It does give you that speed boost, but only if you're interested in going in a straight line after hugging a bunch of cliffs for a while. I'm honestly not a fan, but you know, whatever suits you. It does have its own separate cooldown, which is still very long. But I think I will go back to the Whirling Surge. Alright, so what do you do if you're missing some of these abilities off your bar? For that, you need to go into your skills, into the general tab, and find this right here. From here, you will be able to drag any of your abilities onto your bars. You can also change your flight style from here if you don't want to put it on your bars. So personally, I find the changes to, like, the lack of the Vigor bar to be a little distracting. I have to look a lot closer to see what my charges are, and it's harder to see how fast I'm recharging. So I, for one, am hoping that they provide a way for us to swap that back. They may, I mean, if enough people complain, they might just swap it back entirely. But having the option, or at least an add-on that lets me see visually, is what I am hoping for. Now I am going to go and see how this is on racing, whether it feels like it's changed significantly. Where should we go for that? So, Dragonflight Zone was not really working for me. So let's go to Dornegal. This, you may have noticed, the portal room is rearranged now. We have the portal to Razorwind Shores, which is the housing area. And then right next to it, we have Dornegal, and this is all on the upper level. You don't have to go downstairs anymore. Alright, so let's see if we can find us a skywriting race. So let's pick a race I can usually gold on first try, and see how this compares.
Aspects watch over you.
Definitely have no idea how much Vigor I have right now. Maybe I have a lot, maybe I have a little. I can't spare the attention to look. Yeah, it's a little bit laggy here, but not as bad as the Dragonflight zones were. I think they've just optimized the PTR for the things they want to test right at the moment, which is housing. So not a big deal if it's a bit laggy in here.
Excellent work. I can see that the two of you will
So as far as speed goes, it doesn't look like it's too bad. If you can manage to keep track of what your Vigor is, then it shouldn't adversely affect, the changes shouldn't adversely affect your skywriting. Hopefully. So that's it for the skywriting changes coming in midnight, or actually in patch 11.2.7, which is supposed to be December 2nd. But will continue through midnight. If you don't like that missing Vigor bar, be sure to send some feedback to Blizzard. Maybe hop on the PTR yourself if you can catch it up. And tell them what you think. In the meanwhile, keep your feet off the ground.